Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys are all doing good. It is May 19th, 2021, and here we are once again for the AEW Dynamite post show. How's everyone doing? I am doing good. Double or Nothing is coming up. Double or Nothing is coming up, and there's a lot of things to talk about. We have NXT releases that happened, and yeah, Ashton, more importantly, is this thing on? Like, anyone here, can you hear me? Is YouTube actually working today, or what is going on? That was crazy yesterday. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, anyways, lots of stuff going on today. Let's I think we're going to start it by talking about NXT. Talking about NXT here really quick. There was a couple of releases early today, so I kind of want to get that out of the way, and then we will go ahead and get into the show as well. Ashley says, all good so far. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Flash says, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is time for the Dynamite post show. Warrior says YouTube finally works. Thank God, man. It was so weird yesterday. I was just like, okay, what's going on? Like, what happened? Marcel says this was a really good show. I completely agree with you. I liked the show. I liked the show a lot. Built up to Double or Nothing perfectly. I couldn't be more excited. Couldn't be more excited for Double or Nothing. It is looking good. I can't believe we're gonna be there. I'm so excited for it. But like I said, let's talk about these NXT releases here really quick. There were a couple of them. Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. There were two referees that were released. One of them was a problem for quite a while with all of the QAnon stuff, the conspiracy theories, like all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Let me pull this up so I make sure I pronounce his name correctly here. It's Drake something. Drake, where you at? Okay, I don't know. Whatever. Jay Clemens, James says yes, and Drake something for the other one. Were released today. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately for the Drake one. I think that is kind of. I don't think that one is sad considering everything that that man has done recently, but it is what it is. Also, Sean Ross Sapp posted that he believes that Alexander Wolf was released, but Alexander Wolf said he was not yet released. He has about a month left on his contract, and he chose to go back home. So he is out doing that, and then when his contract expires, he will be clear to go. There will not be a no-compete clause for Alexander Wolf. He will be good to go. I believe it was like the 15th or 16th of next month. So he'll be good for that. And then also, Kavita Devi, Jessamine Duke, and Vanessa Bourne were released today as well. Also, Brandy Lauren was released as well. I think they renamed her Skylar Story or something like that. She was the girl that was dating Joey Janela. She was released today as well. Jessamine Duke is kind of an interesting one. Like, wasn't she a big part of Up Up Down Down recently? So seeing that one is kind of weird to see that one go. James says, does that mean Jessamine Duke leaves Up Up Down Down? I don't know, man. I have no clue. I don't watch Up Up Down Down that much. I usually just watched the GM mode between Woods and Breeze, but I haven't watched it in quite a while. So I don't know what that means for them. I'm not sure. Also, Vanessa Bourne was called up quite a while ago. She was called up to go to, I think it was Raw, if I remember correctly. They never ended up using her for some sort of reason. I think it was right towards the beginning of the pandemic or something like that. And they never ended up using her. They never brought her to TV, and now they just released her. So kind of weird to see someone go from NXT to getting called up to never being used to just being straight up released. I'll never quite understand that. Ashley says, I like Jessamine Duke. Such a shame she didn't do more. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. You know, they had, I don't know if it's just that they weren't ready or they couldn't keep up. I did hear that Duke was very happy doing Up Up Down Down, and I think she kind of preferred doing that over the other stuff. But man, they had a solid group of 4 people right there with Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir, Shayna Baszler, and Ronda Rousey. And unfortunately, it never really came to anything. Nothing really happened from it, which is a huge, huge shame. Ashley says, what did Drake do? Man, a lot of stuff. Apparently, he had nuclear heat with people backstage. There was someone back there that was trying to fight him. During a inclusion meeting that Triple H was having, he apparently stormed off. He was mad that Triple H said that all races and religions are welcome in WWE or in NXT or whatever it was that he said, and that apparently pissed him off, and he stormed off. He wasn't happy with all religions being allowed in the company. He was all like, he's one of those guys that's not into wearing masks, and comes up with all these weird conspiracy theories and pushes them on people. And he got in trouble for being a part of some sort of court thing, but it was about what was it? Young women being preyed upon and sex trafficked or something like that. Where he says that the masks don't allow you to see worry in their face. It doesn't give you the signs. So I don't know. It was this huge ordeal, and it was just, it was weird, man. And I don't know. But essentially, the guy's just causing problems, and sort of the problems that you don't really want to have. When it comes to talking about races and religions and political beliefs, all the subjects that they tell you not to talk about at work, this guy is going above and beyond to complain and bitch about. So yeah, peace out. So that was pretty much all of those today. I don't think any other releases happened to my knowledge. So always a sad day to see people lose their jobs, though. It's a lot of people's dreams to be in the company in WWE as well. So I feel for them, and hopefully all is well. Hopefully they're able to pick up and do what it is they love somewhere else. So I wish them all the best, except Drake. You can just do whatever, bro. I don't care. Marcelo says Drake thinks the masks have trackers. Yeah, I'm not surprised. On that. James says WWE needs room for their roster. If they had a town meeting and there were no budget cuts, they would be overcrowded. They hoard talent like crazy. It's insane. Safa says the only complaint I have from AEW tonight is that Pac kind of feels like a third wheel. Well, we do have one more. We do have the go home episode of Dynamite before, so we'll kind of see how that all gets thrown together. You think Jessamine Duke would thrive in Impact? I don't know if they're ready. If I'm being honest, I'm not sure if Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are ring ready. I'm not sure. Flash says Dynamite was great, even if we almost saw a disqualification. And personally, I'm not a big fan of the American Hero versus Evil Foreigner feud. I'm pretty excited for John. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the country versus country stuff either, but I am excited for Double or Nothing, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait. James says thoughts on Friday Rampage in August and Dynamite moving to TBS next winter. That is the next topic, my friend. So thank you for bringing that up. So I woke up to this news. Tony Khan today announced on Busted Open Radio, I believe it was, that AEW Dynamite will be moving to TBS in January of 2022, and that will be their new home going forward. They also have a new 1-hour show, AEW Rampage, that will debut on TNT on August 13th of this year. Very excited for that. Rampage will be a 1-hour show on TNT every Friday, but they will not go head-to-head with SmackDown. Instead, it will be airing at 10 p.m. Eastern. 10 p.m. Eastern. Also included in this deal is that AEW will produce 4 big quarterly shows in 2022 that will air on TNT that will fill in the gaps between pay-per-view events. So think about New Year's Smash, Fight for the Fallen, Fyter Fest, Bash at the Beach, Blood and Guts, sort of things like that. So we might be getting these semi pay-per-view events 4 times a year on TNT. Safa says TBS Championship. Okay, so TBS is Turner Broadcasting something. TBS, what does it stand for? Turner, okay, so TBS stands for Turner Broadcasting System. So it is essentially still TNT, same Turner stuff. So I'm not sure if the TNT Championship is just going to stay on Rampage. I'm not sure if they're going to split their roster and do some sort of thing like that. I have absolutely no clue. So I am very excited to see how they maneuver about this and see how they handle an actual second show, because at this point, Dark and Dark Elevation, I don't even count those as shows. I think most of us can agree that they're not important. So some people could like them or enjoy watching them. I don't think that they're necessarily bad. I just don't think that they give you that important feeling to them. I don't feel like I need to watch them for anything. Although, you know, there are times where I'm like, wait, how in the hell did this person get 13 wins? And I haven't seen him in 3 months. So like, there are times that happen like that, but everything else, you know, it doesn't feel as important as Dynamite. It doesn't feel like it's even close to being on the same level. And, you know, we're talking like, you know, Raw and SmackDown. So we'll have Dynamite and Rampage. That will be your Raw and SmackDown. And then your Dark and Dark Elevation are kind of like main event to me. You know, it's like people know they're there, main event, 205 Live, but like, they're not important. That's just me. That's just me, though. James says, when it does move to TBS, AEW should rename the TNT title to the AEW Television Championship. Possibly. Or maybe the TNT Championship will just be exclusive to Rampage. I don't know, though. It'll be very interesting. But like I said, TNT and TBS, they're Turner Broadcasting. So it's all the same, although like TNT is named after TNT, not Turner. But you know, you get the point, right? TBS equals the Big Show. This is true. It was some weird idea from VKM. Oh God. I see. Why is AEW making different shows? Because they did very well in their first television deal. They did very well. Ashley says there's a lot of wrestling now. We have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, Dark Elevation, Impact, and now AEW Rampage. And, you know, to add to that, there's Ring of Honor, there's MLW, it seems like there's going to be like Azteca Underground or some shit, like Lucha Underground Part 2. It seems like is coming back. I'm not sure if it's going to be its own thing or if it's just supposed to be a part of MLW or something like that. I have no clue, but I'm very interested in seeing where that goes. But yeah, there is a lot of wrestling these days. NWA is out there as well. All sorts of GCW stuff. Probably a million other things that I'm forgetting. Like, there's so much. Marcel says TBS is technically bigger than TNT in terms of homes. Yeah, so what I read today, there's a guy on Twitter. If you guys are interested in like reading any sort of ratings or anything like that, I highly recommend you give this guy a follow. His name is Brandon Thurston. He is great. He's like the ratings god, I swear. The guy has numbers for literally everything. It's incredible to look at. Absolutely incredible to look at. It's just so fascinating to me. But he posted a thing of a comparison between TBS and TNT, and I think TBS had a little bit more of a viewership in terms of like how many people are watching, but the demos were crazy. Let me see if I can pull it up. The TNT demos were like twice as much as the TBS ones. Okay, yeah. So here we go. So in 2020, the average in the key demo was 0.19 on TBS. And compared to TNT, it's a 0.4. So it's literally a little bit more than double. Oh, but actually, in quarter one of 2021, Their average demo for TBS was 0.31, and the average for TNT was 0.33. So I guess they are pretty close in terms of that. Marcel says, who's the mystery guy in the Battle Royal at Dawn? I reckon Paul White. I have no clue, man. Maybe for sure. James says, when Becky returns, I'm going to scream out, it's Becky Lynch, like Tony Schiavone screams, it's Sting. Jose says, Andrade. I'm hoping Andrade attacks Kenny Omega. I'm hoping that Andrade attacks Kenny Omega at Double or Nothing. I will lose my shit. Sticking with Daniel Bryan would be insane as well. Absolutely insane. I would love it if he just had like some sort of Matt Cardona deal where he's like, yo, let me just work 4 or 5 matches or whatever. Let me get in these dream matches, and then I'm gonna dip out and go do this. And Bryan Danielson can just make a world tour here, have a couple dream matches, and then just go home and do whatever it is he's going to do for the remainder of his career in WWE. Because, the guy's already been forced to retire once, and he really did the unthinkable to be able to come back. And Daniel Bryan is one of the best wrestlers in the world, if you ask me. So to be able to see him like not in a contract right now, I would love to see him show up somewhere else and have some dream matches, man, because time is ticking. The clock is ticking, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, if you ask me. Once in a lifetime. Sting match is non-cinematic. Yes, will be very exciting for that. I can't wait to post a picture from where we're sitting for Double or Nothing. Our seats for Dynamite are okay, but the seats for Double or Nothing, man, they're incredible. They're probably better than the seats that I originally had for Vegas. I'm so excited. And I have a really cool plan that I'm trying to execute. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but if it does, it's going to be crazy. For the first time in a while, AAA has some expectations thanks to the Virtuosa and El Idolo. Yes, dude. Triple Mania is going to be great. I think this is the first one I will ever have watched. And I'm not sure if I'll watch the entire thing. I'll probably just watch those, but it makes me really happy to see how many people are so excited for that main event match and to be very interested in calling Andrade and Kenny Omega a dream match and a 5-star match that they're just dying to see. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to see that. I've been a huge fan of Andrade for so long, and I've just been like, this guy deserves the world. Trust me. Give this guy the world. And now we're finally going to see it. We're finally going to see it. In a main event match, Andrade's first thing that he does after leaving, he gets to go one-on-one with Kenny Omega. Yes. Yes. I'm competing with Darby. Yeah, so which makes it great because I'll be so close to the ring that I can just, when my music starts playing and the snow starts falling, I could just hop the barricade, hook up a little bro, do our business, beat down Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, and then, I could just go back to my seat and just continue enjoying the show. That'd be great. Kenneth says Omega's still the belt collector or just the belt defender now. How do you think would be fair against Nick Aldis? I don't think the NWA would play ball. I don't think they play ball. I don't think they're willing to lose their championship whatsoever. I've never watched NWA, but from what I've seen is that it's not doing very well. Marcelo says, so that's the full Dawn card? Yes, sir, it is. And one of the things that I think is really weird is that even pretty much this entire time, when Kenny has been the AAA Mega Champion or whatever the hell it's called, they don't really acknowledge it that much on TV. I think he's only had it on TV like 2 or 3 times. I know that he's defended it once, maybe twice, but they don't really acknowledge it. And I'm not quite sure why, because I feel like having another world championship would be great, because then he would have 4. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused about all that. And if it's not going to be included in the story, I think it's pretty safe to say that Andrade is going to dethrone Kenny Omega and win the AAA Mega. And I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be so excited for it. And hopefully Andrade signs with AEW as well. That would be incredible. Sava says Serena Deeb is their women's champion. Yeah. And Serena Deeb is good. Serena Deeb is very good. I just don't know if they'd be willing to lose their world championship. AAA is sometimes a strange promotion. It sounds like it. It certainly sounds like it. Sava says the first thing he will face Alberto. Oh, you're right. You're right. Andrade's first match will be against Alberto Del Rio, which is weird as hell, if I'm being honest, but I guess whatever. Jose says, what if Andrade pops up in the Battle Royal, he wins and challenges for the AAA and AEW championship? I don't think so. I don't think AEW would have their championship defended on Triple Mania. I'm not sure though. Don't be fickle says, I didn't realize some people didn't like the Young Bucks. Yeah, a lot of people don't like the Young Bucks. And I think that gets amplified right now as well with their like clothing and the way that they're acting. Ashton says Andrade is hashtag all idolo. I like what you did there, my friend. Marcel says Kenny is gonna beat Andrade. Sir, how dare you? How dare you? I mean, it's very well possible. I'm rooting for Andrade because I love Andrade. He's my favorite. What does AAA mean? I have no clue, man. I have no clue. I don't think I've ever watched a AAA show or anything before in the past, so I have no clue. Belt Collector reign isn't going to end now? Yeah, I mean, very possible. I just think it's weird that they don't acknowledge it, really. But I don't know. I feel like we need to do more for this whole Belt Collector gimmick. Like, it's kind of died off already. And I get that it maybe can't be as intense, or I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I feel like there could be so much more to all of this. Maybe Double or Nothing will kick off something else. Maybe if it's not Andrade that shows up, maybe it'll be someone from New Japan that shows up. I'm expecting... Okay. Double or Nothing is going to be the first thing that AEW is doing with a full capacity crowd. And yes, it is in Daly's Place, so it is smaller. I think it's like a 5,000, 6,000 person venue or whatever, but it's the first time that fans are going to be completely back. So I feel like they have to do something crazy. I feel like they really have to do something huge. And to me, it makes most sense to have it be at the end of the show with Kenny Omega. Maybe they'll have some other surprises, you know. Marcel says there is a mystery entrant into the Battle Royal, which will be fun as well. But man, at the end of the show, something needs to happen at the end of the show. Safa says, imagine if Will Ospreay shows up. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. So Andrade, I think, yes. Will Ospreay, sure. Okada, yes. Naito, okay. Kota Ibushi, yes, please. So I don't know, but it needs to be something very exciting. Marcel says, remember AEW trademarked Battle of the Belts a few months ago. That is true. They did. And Dave Meltzer said that Okada was coming a while ago. He said he's coming. So I don't know when that is or what is going to go down, but I hope that something big goes down soon. Who is their champion right now? Is it Will Ospreay? Is Will Ospreay still the Divas champion over in New Japan? Or has he lost it? Because, man, I was really hoping it would be Kota Ibushi. That would be so good. I mean, you know, if it is still Will Ospreay, maybe Kenny can win it from him and then Kota Ibushi can be the one to take it home. I don't know. That'd be fine as well. Because losing these titles is going to be crazy. Like, they're going to need to figure out something to do when Kenny starts collecting all of these world championships and he has to defend them. They're going to have to figure something out, and he's going to have to drop some of them somehow. And like, you have to keep in mind that they're world championships. Like, these are, in theory, these are supposed to be the most prized possessions that any company has. So you can't just necessarily disrespect him. You just can't be like, Kenny can't just be like, yo, I don't want these Impact and this TNA World Championship anymore. I don't want them. I don't want this IWGP Heavyweight Championship anymore, World Championship, whatever it is that they call it anymore, and just toss them to the side. Like, I don't think that works. But someone did in one of the, I think it was the last post show, they brought up something that was really funny that could potentially work, is that you had this huge match between Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page, and Hangman Adam Page beats Kenny, like we all think, becomes the AEW World Champion, but also gets all of the other straps as well, and then he just drunkenly returns them to the promotion. So Hangman Adam Page shows up on Impact, drunk as hell, stumbling all over the place, returning the TNA World Championship and the Impact World Championship. Maybe he shows up on Strong or something with theirs, or whatever event they have in New Japan or something like that. That would be really funny. I don't know if anyone would be into some sort of comedy act like that, or giving, I mean, I guess the other thing that would be the problem too is that Kenny winning all of these championships is a huge accomplishment. So having Hangman beat him and take all of them off of him, you're kind of like passing that off to someone else as well. So I could see that being a problem. Philip, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Says Christian Cage looks great. The match was good. I watched AEW. It was good, man. It was very good. I'm very impressed with Christian and what he's able to do still. Who will or should dethrone Roman? I have no clue, man. Absolutely no clue. Ash says, if Kenny just throws away a championship, it would make the title feel like it's nothing special and it's worthless. Yeah. And it's just mad disrespectful to an entire promotion. I feel like, you know, especially when we're in these unprecedented times here where everyone is kind of getting the ball rolling and everyone's working together. I don't think that that's the best option to just be like, okay, thank you for your participation. We don't want this shit anymore, but like, let's do business when we can. You know, so I don't know. We'll see. We will see how it goes. But anyways, I'm excited for everything that is about to go down. I'm extremely happy to be in Florida next week. So that leads me to my next topic before we get into the show. I am not exactly sure what next week's schedule looks like. Not quite sure at all. So next week there will be an NXT post show for sure. Dynamite is not on Wednesday next week. It's on Friday. I fly out Thursday. I'll be in Florida Friday for Dynamite. So there's not going to be a post show because I won't have my computer. I won't have any of my stuff with me. Though there will be coverage on Instagram and Twitter for those, but I will have zero way of doing a show while I'm in Florida. So unfortunately, those won't be going down. Saturday, I'll be at Universal Studios all day. We'll be back in Jacksonville on Sunday for Double or Nothing. There will be full coverage of Double or Nothing, of course, on Instagram and on Twitter as well while we're there. But again, unfortunately, there will be no post show for Double or Nothing because I will be in Florida. But I'm working on something. So it may not be a post show, but there might be something after Double or Nothing. So fingers crossed. I haven't heard back yet. So time is ticking. Time is, there's not a lot of time left. So I'm trying to get it figured out, but I will let you guys know as soon as I know as well. Then after that on Sunday, we will be there for Monday, but we're flying out at like 8. But we're going to Disney World on Monday, and then we'll be back in Portland by like 1 a.m. So NXT coverage that next Tuesday is iffy if I'm alive or dead. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure, but I'll keep it posted. But it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to it so much. I cannot wait to be there. Lots of fun stuff. Don't Be Fickle says June is literally almost a week away. The month went by so quick. This year has gone by so quick. It's already the fifth month, man. Ashley says, can I go to Florida with you guys? I'm small enough that you can just stuff me in your suitcase. If you can make it out here, sure. And I mean, the problem is I have 2 extra tickets to Double or Nothing. And we don't know how we can pass them off to someone. So I would love to give away 2 tickets to Double or Nothing for someone, but I don't think it's going to be possible. And that sucks. That sucks really, really bad. But that's another one of those things that I will just keep people updated with as time comes. Marcel says the rapping by Max was the best part of the show. Man, those raps by Max Caster were legendary tonight. Let me see AEW Dynamite, if someone has them all written down, because I didn't write all of them down. Only one of them. Let's see here. Best one yet. Okay, no. So I only have one of them. Okay, but with all that being said, let's get into the show. Asher says, I'm becoming a bigger fan of the Acclaimed every time I see him. Me too, man. When I first saw the Acclaimed, I said, no thanks. Not interested. This is not a gimmick I'm interested in. Especially because I'm a hip-hop fan. I'm a rap fan. So like this stuff never really appeals to me because it always feels like some 60-year-old dude who's like rhyme cat with Matt and college and knowledge. Like it always just feels so forced and so like shitty that I don't ever want to see something like that. But man, Max Caster got flames. The guy's it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. It's something I look forward to every time I see the Acclaim now. Someone's getting roasted. And the ones to Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley were great. They were great. Sava says I tried to watch the NXT post show yesterday, but it wouldn't work and always crashed. Yeah, there was an issue over at YouTube yesterday. Videos were down for a couple hours, I actually think. At least 1 or 2. So yeah, the NXT post show got canceled yesterday, unfortunately, which sucks because I was looking forward to it. Ash says Max Caster has no chill. No kidding, man. No kidding. It is absolutely insane, but I love it. I love it, man. It makes me so happy. Makes me so happy to see that they're fairly unique, and they're actually a newer tag team too, which crazy to me. I would have never expected them to be a newer tag team. I thought they would have been together for years and years at this time, but no. I think AEW is the one that put them together actually as a tag team. So Philip says Christian Cage spear looks great. It really looks good. He really didn't look really good. He didn't. Edge spear. Yeah, the Christian spear looked good, man. Looked very good. Christian's match was great, which is the perfect segue into starting this show. So let's go ahead and get into it. Tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite started off with Christian Cage making his return to the ring to take on Matt Sydal. And this was a great match. Christian's current AEW record is 2-0, and Matt Sydal's was 7-2. I'm very happy with Christian's work in AEW. It's been great. He's shown that he's still got it. He shows that he can do what he does best, which is fantastic. And I feel like the way that he's been used has been okay as well. I feel like he could probably be used a little bit more, but it's really cool that they don't milk him. They don't use Christian as a star attraction to the show. The show's not about Christian Cage. It's not all about this. It's not about Christian Cage just coming in and taking on Kenny or taking Kenny's title or taking the TNT championship or whatever it is. There's nothing about any of that. He's came in now. He's had 3 good matches. He is going to be a part of the Casino Battle Royal, so maybe that will change things a little bit. Maybe Christian is the guy that wins, and maybe Christian is the guy that gets the next shot at Kenny Omega. I'm not mad at that. Adding a rhyme and a reason for someone to be in a position that they're in, I can't complain. Can't complain. And like I said, the shows have not been revolved around Christian, so 0 complaints. Ashley says they don't use Christian Cage 5 times in one episode like WWE does with Edge. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that he does, it's like, it's not just a promo that he's cut 5 times. It's not this or that. Like, he's had good matches. And man, these people that he's wrestling are probably extremely happy to be in the ring with him as well. To be able to go up against Christian Cage is great. And he's a great mind to have backstage as well for booking matches and sequences and all stuff like that. Everything that I've seen from people in the business, they're just saying Christian is a genius. And then he will be a huge asset to that company, whether he's wrestling or not. He will be a huge asset to them. So, I don't know. Maybe you're looking at the guy that could be the Casino Battle Royal winner. Who else would step up to Kenny? I mean, AEW does... They're pretty good at getting people to stepping up and making them believable. I mean, just look at all the stuff they're doing with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. You know, they've had a million tag team matches. They've won them. It's great. Don't Be Fickle says, how much is AEW Double or Nothing? I don't know off the top of my head. I would assume somewhere around $50 to get on Fight TV, if that's what you're talking about. Tickets, if that's what you're talking about, they're ungodly expensive because there's only a couple left. Philip says, so is he full-time or part-time? I don't know. That's a good question. Kind of part-time at this point. But I don't know if that's just the booking or if that's what he wants to do. I have no clue. It'll be your first AEW pay-per-view. Man, this is a perfect pay-per-view to start watching at. This card is incredible. There's a lot of really good stuff that's going to happen on this card. I highly recommend watching Double or Nothing. I really do. Sava says, I'm really excited what they're doing with Frankie Kazarian. Yeah, I'm excited for it as well. It was sad to see that Christopher Daniels didn't get to have like a send-off or anything. And his segment on BTE this week was crazy emotional. Seeing him say that he's not sure if it's time to hang up his boots or not. And then he breaks down. He just falls down to the ground, bursts into tears, and says, like, not now. Please, like, not now. Why does it have to end now? I need a little bit more time. It's very, very emotional. Very emotional. So I'm curious to see where that's going as well, because they didn't really say what was happening with Daniels yet. Still kind of putting it off. Ash says, that's my biggest pet peeve that WWE does. For example, I love Roman's heel gimmick right now, but I don't want to see him 6 times every week. There's a bunch of talent that could take those spots. True. That's very true. But for SmackDown, that's their bread and butter. Like, if they're not showing Roman Reigns 6 times, people aren't going to be convinced that that show's actually good. I swear, if you were to take an episode of SmackDown, chop out all of the Roman Reigns bits, it's terrible. It's terrible, man. It is absolutely terrible. So many people are blinded by the really good Roman Reigns segments that they just let the rest of the entire show slide. The entire show. So that is why, in my opinion, I guess. Well, everything's my opinion because that's what we're talking about, right? It's my opinion. So, that's why I think that Roman Reigns is spread out through those shows. So people continue to watch and people think it's good. AJP says, hey, quick question. What would you think about Sting becoming the new Dark Order leader and Darby becoming second in command? I don't know. I feel like I know where this is coming from. Because of the segment that we had today. I don't know though. I don't know how I would feel about having someone else take over for Dark Order, but I feel like there is something going on between the Dark Order and Sting and Darby, because all of this stuff has been like intermingled for quite a while. So I don't know, man. I just don't know. Pickle says, by the way, I'm Jeremy, just letting you guys know I changed my name and profile picture. Didn't leave, still here. Oh, well, thank you, man. Thank you. What is your profile picture? I can't see it. Is that Daniel Bryan? That Daniel Bryan. I love the username though. It's great. It's great. So yeah, anyways, Christian Cage gets the win here over Matt Sydal, and I think this was a great match. This is a very good opening match for the show. Christian Cage still performs at a very high level. Matt Sydal performs at a very high level as well. So throwing those guys together, it was great. Incredible way to kick off the show. And more than anything, oh, it's the Messiah. Gotcha. More than anything, I tell you guys all the time, I love it when it happens. The sign of respect, man. So after the match, Christian gets his hand raised and he helps up Matt Sydal, gives him a hug, daps him up, and they shake hands and Matt Sydal bows to him in a sign of respect. And I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to see. And all of the times that I've said this, it's great to see you. It's obviously not something that you could do all of the time because it would be old. But in this instance, it fits so well. And I just love it because Christian is a legend and all that good stuff. Very happy to see that. I always love it. I always love it. Simon says, did you see the hate Bronson Reed is getting after last night? People calling him overweight and stuff, even though he can properly move better than half the roster. Really? That's a shame, man. That is such a shame. Bronson Reed is great. And I'll never understand why people care about such things. Like, who cares? Who cares if Bronson Reed weighs 120 pounds or 520 pounds? Like, it doesn't make a difference. It's the same thing. Like, people complain about Marco Stunt, right? Like, no one's making Marco Stunt their world champion, by the way. So he has some fun segments with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, and it fits and it works and it's great. Bronson Reed is incredible. He's an incredible athlete. So what if he's large? That man can go. That man can go. He's so good, especially for a guy of his size. He can go very well. It's always, I hate seeing that. It's so annoying. To me, wrestling is all shapes and sizes. All shapes and sizes. And I think it makes everything great. There's a variety of everything. Like, could you imagine if you were watching a wrestling promotion and every single person that came out looked exactly like Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley? Like, what? No, that's not cool. I don't want to watch that. I don't think. I don't know, but like, I like the range of everyone. You know, you have like your Kevin Owens, then you have your Brock Lesnar's, your Bobby Lashley's, and then you have big dudes like Braun Strowman, Kane, Omos, and at this point, like, you have so many different varying body types. Like, it's good. It's good. So I hate that kind of stuff, man. It's so stupid. Obi James says Keith Lee is big and he is amazing when used, so I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, if you can go, you can go. That's it. That's my only requirement. If you're 4 feet tall, but you can go, respect. Respect, bro. I appreciate you. If you're 18 feet tall and you can go, mad respect, bro. I want to see you wrestle. If you weigh 120 pounds soaking wet, but you can go, I want to see it. If you weigh 600 pounds and you can go, I want to see it. Like, I don't. If you're 18 years old, let's go. Let's work. If you're 55 years old and you can still go, by all means, go. I don't care. Go. I have a problem with certain things when they don't fit, because I think that everything should be about the wrestling more importantly than anything else, of course. So, like, if you can't go, that's kind of a problem. You know what I mean? So, if you're 55 and you can go, cool. But if someone else is 45 and they can't go like they used to, they can't hang anymore, well, it's a wrap. Hang them up, you know? Ashton says there's lots of big guys who can go. Bronson Reed, Keith Lee, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe. Like, those names, all of those guys are incredible. All of those guys are incredible. Bronson Reed and Keith Lee, they're newer. They're newer. But they're still very good. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, legends. Ashton also says Bam Bam Bigelow, Big Boss Man, Earthquake, Yokozuna. Like, there's lots of different varying sizes. There's lots of very good large men. So Vader as well. AJP says yes, Vader. Jeremy says that match between Dominic and Keith at NXT TakeOver Portland was amazing. I popped throughout the whole match. Yeah, it was great. I was there for that. It was great. It was very good. Punk says AEW's move to Fridays means they get huge viewership advantage because SmackDown viewers directly goes to watch Dynamite when SmackDown ends. Dynamite is not moving to Fridays. This one Friday, yes. So next Friday, Dynamite will be on instead of Wednesday, but that's only this one. And then on August 13th, AEW Rampage will be on Fridays after SmackDown. So at 10 p.m. Eastern, that'd be 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So pretty much whenever SmackDown is over for you in your time zone, that is when Rampage starts. So that'll make a lot of things interesting for people that do reviews like myself. Like, should people be doing a SmackDown review? Are people still going to be awake? If a show starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, that means it don't get over till 11. Crazy. Safa says, yeah, exactly. Bronson Reed can go, so he should not get hate. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably just a bunch of tough guys on the internet. A bunch of keyboard warriors. That's pretty much what the world is nowadays on the internet. It's just a bunch of people with nothing better to do but talk shit to other people. So hopefully it doesn't affect him. I think that's the worst thing of it all, is like, at the end of the day, like, some people can do it and some people can't. But when you're a public figure, or when you're more popular and you're in the eyes of the people, if you can just kind of separate the bullshit and not let it affect you, that's obviously the best. But that's not the case for everyone. Like, people are humans, you know? Bronson Reed is a human. So if he's just in his feelings one day and he's like in the Instagram comments and, you know, everyone's being disrespectful and stuff, I hope that it doesn't affect him, because he's extremely talented, and I don't think anything should take away from that whatsoever. And I think that Bronson Reed is going to be an incredible NXT North American champion. I'm very happy that he had a really cool celebration afterwards and all of that as well. So shout out to him. I'm very, very happy for him. Congratulations on all of that. Okay. Now, back to Dynamite, though. A Brock return would be nice for 2021. Yeah, hopefully at SummerSlam. Safa says people haven't learned from what happened to Hana Kimura. I mean, they did for 6 hours, if even. And then it was just all over once again. It was just like, yeah, no, we don't care. We don't care anymore. It's people forget so fast, and people are just worried about being so edgy and cool on the internet that they don't think that the things that they say have repercussions. What happened to her? So she was a part of a reality show that I think was partially scripted or is scripted or something like that. And something happened on the show, and people attacked her like online on Twitter and everything. And people were saying that, you should, can I say this kind of stuff? What I'm gonna roll with it. People were tweeting her, telling her that she needs to take her own life and that she's yada 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 yada. Like, they were being extremely disrespectful towards her, and unfortunately, it got to her, and she wasn't strong enough, and she did end up taking her own life. It's very unfortunate over a TV show. Which is incredibly sad, and it was scripted. It's scripted. It's a TV show. So it's always very important to know that what you're putting out into the world and what you're saying is actually going to a human. You can't be online telling people to do that shit. It's not cool. It doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't make you look edgy. Like, there's nothing cool about any of it. These things have serious repercussions. And honestly, if there was a way for them to like dig up any sort of tweet that added her or mentioned her name and told her to do something like that, like, those people should be held accountable for things like that. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And when it happened, people were like, wow, we need to do better. And, everything kind of changed for like 6 hours. And then it was just like, bam, all back to nothing. Obi James says, I remember Excalibur saying to be nicer to people on the internet. Yeah. At the end of the day, people are people, man. People are people. And some people can look at it and just be like, well, I don't give a shit what these people think. And, I know of a lot of people who are famous or very popular, and they just say like, no, I just post shit and that's it. Like, I don't read through my comments. Like, I'm not going through that shit. So I just post what I post, and it is what it is. Like, if people can say whatever they want, I don't know, because I'm not in there. So I see why people do it and stuff like that. But yeah, you just got to remember that people are people, man. Just because someone's famous doesn't mean they're not a person. Doesn't mean that they're not a human. Doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. Next day, people were body shaming Tony Storm. Oh, my God, man. People are crazy. Ashley says, I legit cried over Hannah Kimura. I never saw her wrestle or what she looked like, but the way she died was disgusting. Yeah, it was. And she was very young too. And from what I hear, she had a very promising career. So it's very sad, man. It's very sad. Okay. Let's get on track. Let's get to being a little more positive here. Let's get back to it. Okay, so after this match here, Team Taz kind of had an altercation. They came out, beat up everyone. Hangman Adam Page came out, gave his drink to Ricky Starks as well, and everyone got beat down by Team Taz. And it was great to see Ricky Starks on TV despite having his injury. I like that. One of the things that I like that AEW does is, so far, they've kept people who are injured on the show in some capacity. Even when Britt Baker was injured, she was still there. They did the entire Britt Baker Big Swole feud with Britt being injured and not being able to wrestle. I like keeping people on screen to do certain things. I don't think that, like WWE does it with tag teams, Ivar was injured. So they do literally nothing with Eric. He just doesn't exist. Like, he might as well be injured as well. No matches, no nothing. And of course, some injuries warrant people being gone. So I understand. Some people need to have surgery. Some people need recovery for things. But if it's something that someone is like totally fine and they just need time off to heal, in this case, maybe Ricky Starks is just good to just be an on-screen person and be a part of Team Taz. I like that, so that people can remain familiar with them and not forget them and you can further stories and continue to do things like that. Ashley says, I hope they don't do that with John Morrison because the Miz is out. Yeah, that could be crazy. But hopefully, I feel bad that the Miz is out. It's his first major injury, and it's a big one. I think it's going to be months before he's back. So hopefully this is sort of a catalyst and turns into a better thing for John Morrison. He can kind of escape this path that he's locked in right now and can do something more interesting, because John Morrison has a lot to offer and they haven't even scraped the surface yet. Okay. So next up, we saw a promo segment with Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison and Julia Hart. I think she is an amazing addition to the Varsity Blondes because she has like this whole cheerleader gimmick. So she fits in there perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. Varsity Blondes have come a long way as well. They just went from a random team that got thrown together to, of course, over time, feeling like a normal team, to being on Dark, to being on Elevation, to now being on Dynamite as well. So that's one of the things that I really love to see as well in AEW is the progression. Someone that has just been signed, they're like, or not even signed necessarily, but someone that they've just been using as, your indie talent or your local talent, quote unquote, whatever it is you want to call it for Dark and Dark Elevation. Like, to see them get opportunities on Dynamite and all that stuff is great, especially from the standpoint of them being great. Like, look at Red Velvet. Like, Red Velvet killed it tonight as well. Next up, we had another promo segment here with Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, and Eddie Kingston gave a perfect description of the Acclaimed. He says, one is a rapper and the other one is the rapper's friend. That is the Acclaimed told by Eddie Kingston. Hilarious. Jeremy says, if the booking is right, of course, we might not see the Miz until next year. Yeah, it could be. It could be 2022 till you see the Miz. Obi James says, from jobbing out to main eventing Dynamite. Good for them. Yeah, it's great. It's great. They did your man's Anthony Bowens dirty. Yeah, they did. The rapper's friend. And then, man, the Acclaimed brought the heat. More particularly, Max Caster brought the heat. Now, I don't remember everything that he said. I have one of them written down, but the other ones I kind of remember. So the first one was saying that Mox and Kingston looked like they gave each other gifts on Valentine's Day. I thought that was really funny. Thought that was great. Then he took a shot at Eddie Kingston saying like, bro, why do you look like you came from 2004? Which is funny because that is how people dressed in 2004. That's what they looked like. They looked like Eddie Kingston does. So I thought that was funny. And then, man, the final blow. Max Caster says, call your girl. She's in my mentions, trying to hit me up for some oral sessions. Oh my God. Flames. Absolute flames, man. And then Anthony Bowens grabs the mic and he says, hey, hey, she's just trying to get us on the podcast. Trying to not get murdered, man. Famous last words. Those guys, man, that's a death wish. And now I'm just wondering what the dynamic was of like, if Max Caster was like, hey man, you want to hear this before? I'm like, just to hear his reaction, or if that was the first time hearing it when he was out in the ring. I would love to know that, because it's got to be a crazy thing, even though they're joking and and it's just raps and it's all fun. Like, to say something like that to someone like Jon Moxley has got to be pretty intimidating. But anyways, this was another good match. Ashley says, I believe Renee responded to that on Twitter. She did, yes. She pretty much said, get some check marks and win some matches, and then maybe we'll talk or something like that. And then a gif of Conor McGregor saying, "Who the fuck is this guy?" So, but anyways, yeah, good match. Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley getting another win under their belts. I'm not necessarily sure how many wins they have at the moment, but one of the things that I like, I mean, it's kind of ass backwards that the Bucks challenged them to the title match. Then they made it official that is going to go down at Dynamite, or sorry, at Double or Nothing. But ever since they formed a tag team, they've been wrestling on Dynamite, on Dark, and Elevation as a tag team. They've been getting up wins, and since they beat the Acclaimed tonight, they're number one on the power rankings for the tag team division. And the match was made: Young Bucks versus Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley at Double or Nothing for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I love that. My whole thing is, well, I have two things. There's a time and a place for everything. The other one is make things make sense. If you can do that, I think it'd be pretty successful. Pretty successful. So very happy to see that. Afterwards, we had a little promo segment here from Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And essentially what I got from Scorpio Sky was like, "Hey, Sting, you're old. You're not what I remember as a child, so I'm going to beat you up." And Ethan Page is like, "Hey, I'm going to beat you up too." So Sting and Darby Allin came out, beat up Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, chased them off. And as soon as they were trying to leave and go through the tunnels, the Dark Order came out of the right one. They ran over to the left one, and the Dark Order came out of that one as well. So they fleed to the left side and ran up. I have no idea where this is going. I don't understand. Obviously, the match between Sting and Darby and Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, like, obviously that was going to happen. Where does the Dark Order fit in with all of this? Where do they fit in? The Scorpio Deathlock, yes. Jose says, random question: have you had a face reveal? No, sir, I have not. Well, kind of, I guess. Kind of. Yeah, but not on here. No. I have it ready. I'm just waiting, I guess, for the right time. But I have some stuff planned. Like I said, I have some stuff planned. We'll see how it... I don't know. It's kind of out of my control if I can make this happen. So if it happens, it happens. And it'll be a great moment. But if not, well, I tried. So anyways, I don't understand what the dynamic is between Sting, Darby Allin, and the Dark Order. Or is there none whatsoever, and the Dark Order just hates Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky? I don't know. Let's see here. Next up was a dinner with the Pinnacle here, and Shawn Spears was pissed at the waiter for not filling up his drink. So he jammed his head onto the table, onto a plate of food, I believe, and proceeded. It looked like he was going to pour out a bottle on top of his head. The other guys were kind of like, "Hey, you might want to kind of dial it back a little bit here." And he ended up throwing the bottle and just tossing the guy to the side. Tully Blanchard ended up throwing the guy a huge wad of money as a as an apology, whatever it is. Shawn Spears went to some dark places. No kidding, right? Obi James says Wardlow just drowned down to that bottle of wine. Did he? I didn't see that. Obi James says they're not really explaining that. I guess that Darby and the Dark Order are cool from those matches Darby had. Yeah, I don't know, man. I have no clue. It's the one thing on this show that I don't quite understand whatsoever. One sec. Oh, my fiance is sending me all this stuff to do in Florida. Let's see. Okay, so next up was a match between Hikaru Shida, AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida, and I can't ever remember which one her real name is. It's Reba or Rebel. I don't know. This match I really could have gone without. This match. They could have figured out another way to do it. I don't necessarily care what it would have been if it's a promo, if it's just an attack, maybe. I don't know, but whatever. If it Obi James says Rebel is her real name, okay. I'll have to try to remember that. Because I swear I'm always gonna forget. I get what this match was for. I completely understand. And yes, there were a lot of different promos. So maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But either way, I'm happy. Because I hope this is the end. I hope this is the end of the road. It's time. Next week on AEW Dynamite on Friday, they're celebrating Hikaru Shida's 1-year reign as their women's world champion. And, congratulations to her. That's a very long reign. And Hikaru Shida is great. This is not to disrespect Hikaru Shida. This is not to take anything away from her, but her reign has been trash. I'm sorry. Absolute trash. And I'm not sure whose fault it is. I'm not sure if this is a booking issue. I'm not sure if this is a pandemic issue. I'm not sure if it's a travel ban issue. I'm not sure where the issue is. And honestly, I really don't care where the issue is because it doesn't matter what caused it. It still happened. And this reign has been terrible. Obi James says not as bad as Asuka's. Oh, yeah. Asuka's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I think I would rather not see the champion than to see them lose all the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're probably right. Okay. But anyways, Hikaru Shida's reign has just been trash. I'm sorry, but that's just the way that I see it. This is not how I would book anything. So I'm really hoping that this is the beginning of the end. I pray to Father Rollins that at Double or Nothing, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, dethrones Hikaru Shida and becomes the new AEW Women's World Champion. And I hope it's a complete reset for everything. We need to get out of these old ways for AEW. They have really good women on their roster now. They are there. It's time to usher them in, and it's time to remove the other ones that aren't working. Put them on Dark, put them on Elevation, put them in these other things, but focus on the people that are doing extremely well. And right now, you have Britt Baker, you have Thunder Rosa, you have Serena Deeb, you have Red Velvet, and I would argue that Jade Cargill is worth watching as well. That's 5 off the top. Layla Hirsch is great as well. 6 people. I'm sure there's some other ones. Hikaru Shida is good. Don't get me wrong. She's good. But it's time. We need a break. Throw in these other people and let them do what they can do. Ashton says Ty Conti. Yes. Ty Conti is very good. Very good. So that alone, that's like 8 people. Well, 7 if you remove Hikaru Shida. Anna Jay, yes, she's still injured, but she should be back soon. So yeah, there's 8 women. 8 women that you could have doing better things. So when Britt Baker wins this championship, I swear to God, Britt Baker better win this championship at Double or Nothing. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to be pissed if she doesn't. Reset everything. Reset everything. If you want to run all this other stuff on Dark and Elevation, cool, do it. I don't care. I don't watch those shows. But on Dynamite, I want you to focus on the new wave of women. The ones that can go. The ones that have been doing very well lately. Let's put some stock into them. Let's raise this women's division. Britt Baker is the start of a new era. I hope to God. I hope. And maybe I'm being a little greedy, but please give us a new championship as well. It's too small. It is too small for them. It needs to be a little bit bigger. Even with Britt Baker holding it up, it just looks too small. It looks like the Toys R Us or the Target version of a belt that you would get. It's just like a kid's version. It's too small. It's too small. And I think that the WWE ones, I feel like maybe they're a little bit too big. So maybe a nice little medium-sized one that's in between those two, I think would be perfect. Perfect. But either way, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida should be a great match at Double or Nothing. And like I said, it has to be Baker. It has to be Baker. Next up was a little promo segment here from the Inner Circle, and it was all about the challenge that was issued by MJF and the Pinnacle. They issued the challenge. Stadium Stampede. Take it or leave it. If the Inner Circle loses, the Inner Circle disbands, and the Inner Circle is done forever. Evan says WWE belts look atrocious. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the big just WWE logos. I've never been a fan of that. I like gold. I like a lot of gold. So I love the AEW World Championship. I love the old school. I mean, not necessarily old school at this point, but the IWGP Heavyweight Championship before they changed it to the Divas Championship. Like, those are world titles to me. That TNA World Heavyweight Championship that Kenny's carrying around, man, these are good looking championships. Those are championships that I would have if I had my own promotion. That's the kind of stuff that I would put out there. You like the US Championship? I mean, yeah, the US Champion. I like the older US Championship, the previous one that they had. This one, I like it. It's big, it's gold, but I will never get over the fact that it has a pair of balls over it. Like, I know that it's eagle's wings or whatever, like the gaps between them, but it literally just looks like a big set of balls on the middle of the United States Championship, and it drives me nuts. The Intercontinental Championship looks good as well, yes. Yeah, it's just that big WWE logo I just don't like. I wouldn't mind it if it was big and gold and it was just like etched in there, you know? But I don't know. If Baker doesn't win, we riot. Yes, 100%. 100%. You believe they fixed that a bit? Have they? I don't know. I feel like I saw it the other day and I was just like, this championship drives me nuts. But anyways, promo from the Inner Circle. Every single one got an opportunity to talk, of course, except Santana, because I believe the story is that he's detained still for stabbing MJF with the fork during Blood and Guts, but he will return next week on the Go Home episode of Dynamite on Friday. Ortiz talked, Santana talked, Jake Hager talked, and then Chris Jericho talked. It was good. It was very good. Chris Jericho was like, is any of this worth it? Was being launched off the top of the Blood and Guts cage, was it worth it? Yada, 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 yada. Yes. Yes, it was worth it. And so, yes, we accept. And if the Inner Circle isn't good enough to beat the Pinnacle, then the Inner Circle doesn't belong together. That's where we are. So now, who wins? Who wins this match? Who wins the Stadium Stampede? It has to be the Pinnacle, right? Can the Pinnacle survive losing the Stadium Stampede? I don't know. Ashley says the championship represents that you have balls. There you go. They have an extra set of them as well. OBJM says, I still think the Inner Circle will win. Ashley says this promo was goated. It was very good. It was very good. I just don't know who wins. I don't want to see the Inner Circle get disbanded, but I could certainly see the Inner Circle surviving. Chris Jericho would be fine. Jake Hager, maybe. I don't know. Maybe Hager and Jericho just maybe form a tag team or something like that. Maybe Sammy Guevara will be fine, of course. Santana and Ortiz, of course, they'll be fine. And I wouldn't mind Santana and Ortiz breaking off from the Inner Circle anyways and focusing on the tag team division. I wouldn't mind Santana and Ortiz at some point knocking off the Young Bucks and becoming the next AEW World Tag Team Champions. Santana and Ortiz are great. They're fantastic. So I think we can live in a world where there is no Inner Circle and the show will still be entertaining, because these guys, they've been together for however long they've been together. And I think most of them can handle themselves on their own. Now, we go to the Pinnacle, who have just formed. We haven't seen Shawn Spears in a while. In a very long time. MJF, he's been featured. He's been great. FTR, of course, they've been on top of their game as well. Wardlow is a promising talent as well. So, I don't necessarily know if having the Pinnacle lose works. I don't know if it works. Maybe it's not the end of the feud. Maybe if the Inner Circle wins, there's something else happens afterwards. I'm not quite sure I'm interested in that, because I still feel like Blood and Guts is a feud-ending match, not necessarily really a feud-starting match. So, and especially when we go to Stadium Stampede, which also feels like a feud-ending match, I just don't know. This one is a complete toss-up for me. Complete toss-up. Ashley says, I'm having trouble seeing Jake Hager on his own. Perhaps he can go after Miro. That's very possible. He could be someone that Miro could take down. Jose says, to be honest, I don't want the feud to continue. I don't either. But I'm just not sure if AEW will break up the Inner Circle. I don't know. Ashley says, I have a bad feeling that this is going to be the last of the Inner Circle. And Obi James says they're having a celebration for the Inner Circle next week. So this I sent... good for the Inner Circle. Maybe. Or maybe it's the last time we see them together, too. I don't know. Like I said, this one, for me, it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up. I have absolutely no clue what to expect from this. No clue. Next up, we had an amazing match. Serena Deeb returned from a knee surgery to defend her NWA World Women's Championship against Red Velvet. This match was really good. I was very excited to see another women's match on here, and this was exactly like we were talking about earlier. The women that can go, I want to see them go. I want to see them on TV. I want to usher in this new era of the AEW women's division. I want these people to be on my TV. I want these people getting a chance. And this was great. Red Velvet has improved drastically. She's been really good. This match was great. Her match with Jade Cargill was great. Her match with Shaq and Cody and Jade Cargill was great as well. It was all really good. Of course, you're gonna have that issue where you have Serena Deeb defending against someone who doesn't win very much. Like, I get that it's obvious who the winner is, but I don't think that really took away anything from this match. I thought it was very good. Both of them are very impressive. Very impressive. Ashley says, I didn't care about this match, but damn, they proved me wrong. Yeah, they killed it. Jose says, or they probably break them up and later they reunite again like the Shield. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that they could take a break and maybe Chris Jericho will leave for a little bit, take some time off. Very possible. I feel like that one, like I said, that one can go either way. Next up, we had a squash match of the sorts. Anthony Ogogo taking on Austin Gunn. This match was used for one very specific reason, and that reason was to get over Anthony Ogogo and his punches. That was it. There's been a lot of people that are questioning Anthony Ogogo's punch as a finishing move, saying that could not stop a fight, that you could just simply move out of the way and everything would be fine. But people get knocked down from this punch all the time in MMA. So it makes a lot of sense. And I feel like it makes him more unique. It gives him something different. He's got a strike. It's a punch. Cool. I'm all for it. And having the ref have to just stop the match instead of doing a pin or a submission, I feel like is a really good look. It makes you look tough as hell. So I like that. And they added the blood into this match. So he punched Austin Gunn in the stomach. he started to cough up blood. Blood from Austin Gunn got onto Anthony Ogogo's face as well. They did this whole dramatic thing as well. Austin Gunn laying on the mat, bleeding from his mouth. The ref is ready to stop it, but Austin Gunn is like, no, don't stop the match. So he ends up crawling over to Anthony Ogogo. He's crawling up his boots, his legs, and he has blood on his hand. I don't think he had enough, though, because it didn't leave the impression that I was expecting. But he has blood on his hand, and he reaches up and kind of drags his hand down Anthony Ogogo's chest, leaving a slight trail of blood. It was a cool little touch to get over this move. Anthony Ogogo lifts him up, kind of like Cesaro does, where he launches them into the air, and then he just hit him with a punch, and that was a wrap. Ref stopped the match after that for Austin Gunn. God bless America. Yeah, I guess, right? Ashton says, this match just sucked, and it didn't make me a fan of Ogogo. It made me think that all he can do is punches, which is kind of where I want to go with this. So, of course, Anthony Ogogo wins the match. He has his flag over there. Cody has the American flag over there. Blah, 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 blah. Cody gets in the ring to check on Austin Gunn. Ogogo goes and grabs the American flag and has it like wrapped around his fist and then throws it. And then Cody and him kind of have a stare down. They don't get physical or anything, but they do have a stare down. So they're trying to build this up, obviously, and they're trying to make Anthony Ogogo feel like a legit competitor and a legit someone who could knock off Cody Rhodes, essentially. And I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what to expect from Anthony Ogogo. I don't know if he can wrestle. I don't know. Is he just going to be throwing strikes? Is he going to squash Cody? How much faith are they putting in Anthony Ogogo for this Double or Nothing match? Because this is a big stage. This is a very big stage. This is a very big moment. And I don't know. This is the other one that I don't know how it's going to end up. I don't know if Anthony Ogogo is going to beat Cody Rhodes. Or I don't know if Cody Rhodes is going to beat Anthony Ogogo. I don't know. I don't know if Ogogo is ready to handle the responsibilities of beating Cody Rhodes after Double or Nothing. It's shoes to fill. Ashton says if he squashes Cody, at least it'll shut the Cody haters up. True, but does that piss off the people watching Double or Nothing? A squash match on a pay-per-view? I don't know. This one is just very up in the air to me. I don't understand where they're going to go with it. It can go anyway. Obi James says Cody wins because America, which is another factor to put in, that Cody's coming out as the American Dream for a one night only type deal. He's doing his father's gimmick type thing. So for one night only. So what effect does that have on all of this? Is that a surefire way that Cody's going to go over? I don't know. Ashton says, or at least have a good match, but have Ogogo go over. If he's capable of it, yes, absolutely. That would be my decision if I were Booker Man. If Anthony Ogogo can go, a lot of go, then go. By all means, go. Have a banger with Cody, beat him, and bam, you're good. You've taken off, right? They've accomplished what they've been trying to accomplish. Because I say it every single Wednesday. This whole thing is not for QT Marshall. It is for these other guys. So Ogogo beating Rhodes at Double or Nothing, I feel like that is the correct thing to do. I just don't know if he's ready. I don't. And I guess we won't know until it happens. And if Cody does beat him, my assumption is going to be that he's not ready. That's my assumption. And Obi James says, why are they fighting over anyways? And that's the whole thing too. Like, I hate this whole like America versus another country because evil and like America's great thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. It just feels so like old school, and maybe that's the reason why they're doing it. I don't know, but it's not for me. It is not for me. Anthony says, wait. We are forgetting something, and that is an update on Keith Lee. Drum roll, please. You ready for an update on Keith Lee? Because I have some breaking news. I just got a text message. You will hear it here first. I hope you're sitting down because this is some of the craziest news that you will ever hear in your entire life. Breaking news on Keith Lee. Drum roll, please. There is no update on Keith Lee. Ashley says Nick Camarado is a fucking beast and Aaron Solo has a ton of potential. Yes. So hopefully they'll get these guys together. They'll be able to do something and they'll be able to make something great of it. That is what I'm hoping. I have faith in AEW to do the correct thing because they typically do the correct thing. They do have that track record of doing the right thing. So I have my faith in them. I think they'll make the right decisions. And even, my complaints from last week or whatever it was, like those were calls that had to be made last second. The whole thing about SCU not having a send-off was because Christopher Daniels' face was so bad and his eye was so bad that they couldn't do it. The ending to Pac versus Orange Cassidy was supposed to end in a time limit draw, and that was supposed to force both of them to have the match. But Orange Cassidy got hurt during the match. They had to call an audible. So I have faith in AEW to do the correct thing. They still have my faith. So we'll see. We shall see. Next up, Miro came out with his TNT Championship. Man, I loved it. So good. Huge fan of Miro. I'm very happy to see him finally have some gold, finally get some recognition. And I still think that at some day, some point, some time, Miro will be a world heavyweight champion in AEW. Without a doubt. I think when the time comes. The timeline is a little bit rough at the moment. Kenny Omega, champion now. Hangman Adam Page, certainly the next champion. But after that, I'm not quite sure. It could be Miro. He's a heel. Could be Miro. Could be someone else though. It could be Pac. Lots of requests for very talented people to be world champions. So we'll just see how it goes. But I would love to see it someday. And good promos. Good promos for Miro and Lance Archer back and forth. So Lance Archer came out, and this match is official. Miro will be defending his TNT Championship against Lance Archer at Double or Nothing. I'm very excited that I get to see that in person. And Miro said that he will also be defending the TNT Championship next week on the special Friday episode edition of Dynamite. And he will be defending against Dante Martin, who was half of the tag team of Top Flight, one of the brothers from that. So that's going to be a crazy one. I know the reason why they picked him. It's because he's smaller. Miro's going to toss him around and manhandle him like crazy. He's just going to squash him and destroy him ahead of their match between him and Lance Archer. And him and Lance Archer is going to be great because Lance Archer is a big dude. So this is going to be a real thick boy match. It's going to be great. Cannot wait to see it. Next up was our main event match of the night. The Young Bucks defending their AEW World Tag Team Championships against the Varsity Blondes. And overall, I thought this match was good. Very enjoyable. Some shenanigans, with the Young Bucks being the heels and the cold spray and yada, yada, yada. And actually, there was a really funny point that people are probably going to be very mad about. But I think it was Matt who had the cold spray, and Julia Hart was on the ramp trying to stop him, and he just sprayed it right into her face. A good old-fashioned, no fucks given moment, and it was incredible. It was great, so probably a lot of heat for them. They were, again, wearing their Dior Jordans as well, which I think they're like 9 or 10 grand, going for 9 or 10 grand on the used market. So very expensive shoes. They ended up getting the win over the Varsity Blondes, but like I said, good match. I thought it was fun, aside from the shenanigans, but it's kind of tied to their gimmicks. That's just kind of what they are. They're trying to cheat. They're being assholes. Kind of is what it is. Ash says Griff Garrison is incredible. Very impressed with him. I love to see the build. I love that. I love that we go from who the fuck is Griff Garrison on BTE to Griff Garrison being mistaken for Jungle Boy all the time on BTE. And now this man's in a main event match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You love to see it. Very happy about that. That is awesome to see. So, very exciting. Good match. I think they got a lot of shine here, and hopefully that gives them something to work with in the future. Maybe being on Dynamite more. And I'm actually I don't think either one of them is signed to the company, to my knowledge. So maybe contracts. Maybe contracts. We have another episode of, or another show, coming up on August. AEW Rampage. They're gonna need some bodies for that. So we'll still kind of see how they navigate through that, but it'll be very exciting with that. So Young Bucks win. They retain their tag team championships, of course. And while they're celebrating, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston come to the ring. They get into an altercation. Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston choke them both out. Turn off the lights at the Young Bucks residence. And this is the first week in quite a while that we haven't seen the Good Brothers. Where's Carl Anderson? Where's Doc Gallows? Where's the Danglies? Where are they, man? They could have prevented the Young Bucks from getting straight up robbed tonight. So once Mox and Kingston choked out the Bucks, Eddie Kingston was untying Nick Jackson's shoes, stole his Dior Jordans, and not only his Dior Jordans, but he stole his socks as well. A sick man. I would never wear someone else's socks in my life. But they got jacked, man. They got jacked. Mox and Kingston stole both of their shoes, the Dior Jordans. And like I said, those are like 9 to 10 grand a pop. So they potentially stole like $18,000 to $20,000 worth of shoes, which is hilarious. And the best part of all of it is Kingston like untying them and stealing them and then putting the socks in his pocket and then just has a big old smile on his face afterwards. I thought that was great. Warrior says Bucks getting their shoes stolen was the best ending to AEW in a while. It was good, especially, because they're bragging about their shoes. There's always a focus on the shoes. It's certainly nice to see this instead of a giant brawl breaking out. It fits with what the Bucks are doing. It fits with the tag team championship match. Fits with everything. And that was it. That wraps up the show. I thought it was great. This was a very good episode of AEW Dynamite. Very appealing from start to finish. Lots of stuff going on. The full card has been announced now for Double or Nothing. And we still have the go home episode. I'm very excited about that. And that means now that they have said, hey, we have the full card. Now I can make a predictions video. Or we could do a predictions live stream. Maybe we'll do that instead before I head out, since I'll be missing some things. That'd be a fun thing to do. Maybe we'll do that. Apapa Nation says the Wild Things theme is lit. Very interesting. I like this one much better. That is for sure. I think it fits the both of them. I like that. Not mad at that at all. But yeah, anyways, that is it for AEW Dynamite. And yeah, I think that's it for me, man. Hour and 40 minutes. It's getting hot as hell in this room. But overall, a good show. Very excited for AEW Dynamite. I can't wait to be there. I'm so excited. I will be posting some stuff for all of you guys as well. Ashley says much better than the original. Yeah, it fits so much better. So much better. But yeah, lots of exciting things coming up for AEW. I can't wait to see all of this stuff. I can't wait. It's going to be weird being in Florida for the first time. It's supposed to be hot as hell while we're down there as well, I think. So that's not good. But good show tonight. Hopefully we have a good go home episode on Friday leading into Double or Nothing. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a very, very, very good show. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. That is going to do it for me. For those of you that are interested in gaming, I might play some Overwatch with my friend here in a little bit. As soon as I get off here, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not quite sure if that's going to go down, but I might be live over on the Phantom Spec channel. I'm not quite sure. We shall see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys. And I will see you here, I don't know when. Next Tuesday for NXT? Maybe we'll do a Sunday Ask Me Anything sort of stream or something like that. Or maybe we'll just set up some sort of predictions one. But I'll stay in touch with everyone on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate you all. And I will see you sometime. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your night. Peace.